Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Yahweh is the true name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is the true name of the Heavenly Father's Son, the Son of Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. I want to give double honors to my apostles and to my elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from, and peace and blessings goes to the hopeful members of the Lord's elect, my brothers that are out in the highways pushing his word and truth and sincerity. In today's lesson, Lowell, in this lesson is edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash, which Rachakodash is Hebrew for the Holy Spirit. In today's lesson, I'd like to go into how this war will be with fuel and burning of fire. I'm roughly paraphrasing the book of Isaiah, the chapter 9, verse 5. But before we get into that, I have this video here, which is it has four parts, but I'm only going to play the first one because it's pretty long. But as I was watching this video, a lot of precepts, a lot of scriptures came into my mind, and I thought, the Spirit moved me just to do this lesson based off this video going into World War III. Okay, and the main one that came to mind was the book of Isaiah, chapter 9, verse 5, which says, "For every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood." And that's going into ancient warfare, how ancient war was fought. Okay, it was swords, spears, and all that. It was close combat. You stab somebody, his blood will be all over you in your garment. Okay, but this war, the war to end all wars, World War III. All right, when we continue reading, it says, "But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." And what is that? Nuclear war. Now, of course, World War III is not just going to start off as nuclear, but that's how it's going to end. All right. The Lord is going to, as it is written in Joel, the 3rd chapter, in Zephaniah, the 3rd chapter, in the 8th verse, the Lord is going to gather these nations in the Middle East. All right. All these nations. And he's going to bring them there to judge them. It's going to start off conventional. But real soon, the Lord is going to put it in Russia. All right. These different leaders' minds. Russia, North Korea, China, even America's allies, to shoot missiles against this place. Okay, so the last part again. But it says, "But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." Right, it's going to turn out to be a nuclear war. Okay, which America and and Israel is going to be destroyed. All right, that's going to be the outcome. All right. But let's play this video now. It's a long video, so I'm not gonna just play the whole thing. I'm gonna play it
that will burn first in World War III. For most of human history, the United States has been invincible. Protected by two massive oceans, it was a fortress that no army could touch. But technology has killed geography. Today, the threat isn't coming from a boat, it's coming from the edge of space. Before we look at where the bombs will fall, we have to understand who is sending them. The list of nations that can successfully strike the American mainland is terrifyingly short.
All right, he said the list of nations that can strike the American mainland is terribly short, right? Now, he's going to bring out Russia, China, North Korea, basically America's enemies. All right, but let's not forget America's allies. Okay, let's get the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50. Let's start at 13 or 12, all right? Now read 14. It says, Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 12, it says, "Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert." Right, we know that America came out of Great Britain. All right? America's going to do something which is going to piss off all their allies. All right, UK, which they're known of having missiles. France, they're known as having missiles. And we had like a little foreshadowing of that when Trump threatened Greenland. All right, you had nations like different EU nations, like France is one of them. All right, that sent troops over there to Greenland in case Trump actually sent his soldiers over there, man. All right, these nations are not, their allies, America's allies are not going to forget that, man. Okay, because America's going to do something so that's going to piss these other nations off, their allies off, that they're just going to be done with it, man. All right, because let's not forget, they're the 8th. All right, they're coming out the 7th, and they're more stout than his fellows. Okay? Verse 13 says, because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited. Right, America is not going to be inhabited once it's destroyed, because the wrath of the Lord is going to be upon it. All right? It says, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss out her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babylon. Round about, all ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spend no arrows, for she has sinned against Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Right, man. So all nations that have the nuclear capability, all right, it don't matter if it's your allies, you know, Russia, China, North Korea, India, Pakistan, UK, France, all right, whatever nation has these missiles, they're gonna shoot everything that they got at America, man. All right, because it's the wrath of the Lord. This is going to be an overkill. Because really, when you go into this video, all right, the guy breaks it down, right? The 10 cities that, well, not 10 cities, the 10 states that that'll be used, that will most likely get hit by a nuclear missile. Because nuclear missile, well, nuclear war is like he's about to say, is strategic.
First, there is Russia. They possess the largest nuclear arsenal on Earth, with heavy ICBMs like the Sarmat that can reach any point in the US in under 30 minutes. Second is China. For decades, they had a small force.
He mentions ICBMs, but what you forget to mention,
but they are rapidly building hundreds of new missile silos in their desert. They can now hit the East Coast, the West Coast, and everything in between. And then, the wild card, North Korea. Their Hwasong 15 and 17 missiles have theoretically demonstrated the range to hit Washington, D.C., though their accuracy is still debated. So,
all right, that's what Esau always, all their accuracy. Either you know, but it don't matter if they don't have to be accurate. All they gotta do is be shot up in the air, and the Lord's gonna take control. Because this is far above man's means. The Lord's gonna be the one to put in their hearts to destroy this place, man. Okay, let's get real quick. Let me bring out this in Revelation 17, which is another precept that goes into your allies, right? This is the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 16. Which says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, right? The 10 horns represent NATO and the EU, all right? These shall hate the whore being America, all right? Your allies is going to hate you, man. They're going to come up against you. And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. And how are they going to do that? With the nuclear missiles, all right? For the Most High hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, right? The Lord's going to put it in their hearts in their minds to come up against this place. All right, the Lord's gonna put it in Russia, China, North Korea, which we all know, like the scripture says, Russia is gonna be the one to end this place. They're the chief captain. All right, they're gonna be the one that's gonna lead off this war, this nuclear war, and we already know that once whatever Russia does, China and North Korea, which is the allies, is gonna follow suit, man. Okay, China and China and North Korea is gonna follow suit with what Russia does, and not just that, India, Pakistan, all these nations are gonna follow suit to what Russia does, because the Lord's gonna be controlling. It's gonna be all in their minds, put in their minds to come up against this place, man. Their whole purpose, like, we gotta come up against and take out this bully, man, which is America. Okay. So again, for the Most High hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, unto the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled.
So if the leaders in Moscow, Beijing, or Pyongyang decide to push the button, they aren't going to fire randomly at Times Square or Disney World. That is a Hollywood myth. Real war is about math. It's about crippling the enemy's ability to fight back. If Russia or China attacks, they will prioritize counterforce
Right.
targets. They will try to destroy America's nukes before America can launch them. And unfortunately for the people living there, America keeps its biggest guns in 10 specific states. These are the 10.
All right, 10 specific states, and this is why I remember Apostle Tahar. He does a lot of videos, but I remember him saying that America may not even have a chance to shoot off the nukes because it's gonna be like a thief in the night. All right, they're gonna come attack you suddenly, and we saw what's that one show? What's that one? What's that one show called? Oh, not show, a movie on Netflix. Let me see if I can find it. I know they should just put it. All right, The House of Dynamite, right? And they showed you in that movie, which the Pentagon had a problem with that movie because they were basically saying that it's not accurate. But the makers of the movie were hired people that specifically work closely to the Pentagon and in America's nuclear arsenal to show how accurate it is. All right, and in that movie, in this House of Dynamite on Netflix, you can watch that. They show you how America had a tough time knocking down that missile, which it don't matter. No defense system that America has can defend America from this, man, from the nuclear missiles. All right, you could spend all your most money to defend against it. It's not gonna work, man, because this is not man's will. This is the Lord's will. All right, and the Lord's purpose is that for this place to be destroyed, and there's no defense against it. When you go to Joel 2, okay, the scripture says how none shall break the ranks. Okay, they're going to hit their destination. Now, there's just so much, scriptures I could go into going into this topic, man, because really, this is the end. This is a major prophecy. All right, this place being destroyed by fire. Okay, but let me get
will prioritize counterforce targets. Yang decide to push the button, they aren't going to fire randomly at Times Square or Disney World. That is a Hollywood myth. Real war is about math. It's about
Right, this is what this part reminded me of Isaiah 9:5. This shall be a burning and fuel of fire. Everything is strategic in war. You don't just send troops out there to fight. Everything is strategic. All right, if I'm saying it right. You gotta find out how to win the battle, because each battle you win, it gets closer to win the war. And not just war, even football. You have the coach, basketball, the coach, NBA coaches, NFL coaches. Everything is strategic. You gotta make plays, bring out plays, different playbooks to try to win games, man. All right, NFL, the coaches gotta figure out how to get more yards, because it's about yards. While you got the other coach how to defend, has to come up with plays how to defend. So everything is strategic. Okay. So when this fuel and this shall be fuel and burning of fire. Okay. The Lord is good. When the Lord is gonna literally wipe out America, man. Because like I said, mentioned earlier, which it reminded me now, came back to me, the water to Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, how this place, how it's going to be like a thief in the night, man. Okay? Remember, Russia, China, North Korea, even Iran, whom they're bombing right now, have hypersonic missiles. Something that's can go undetected, man. Something that cannot be defended against. So just think about it. Okay? So America's getting hit all throughout different states, getting hit with missiles. America has no time to react, because it's strategic. Before, well, be smart, right? You shoot your missile. They shoot their missiles, and they shoot their missiles to literally hit and totally destroy America to the point where they can't even shoot missiles back, man. All right, but it's all going to be the will of the Lord. All right, because let me see. Let's get 2 Peter 3:10. It says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. Right. The day of the Lord is going to come as a thief in the night. Going to catch a lot of these people off guard, man. Okay. In the which the heavens shall pass away with great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Right. What's that great noise? That nuclear missiles. When they're being shot off and they hit the destination. All right. And it detonate. All right. And melt everything around it, man. Because this place is literally going to be on fire. Okay. With fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Everything here in America is going to be burnt up. Everything, literally. All right, if you're left on the soils, if you left on the soils of America when this happens, you're going to be part of that fuel to the fire. You're going to be the wood that's going to add to the fire, man. It's going to be like one big fan. Wave of fire is going to go across all through America, man. It's going to totally wipe this place out.
Crippling the enemy's ability to fight back. If Russia or China attacks, they will prioritize counterforce targets. They will try to destroy America's nukes before America can launch them. And unfortunately for the people living there, America keeps its biggest guns in 10 specific states. These are the
Yeah, and it's not to say they these nations do that, right? And they don't hit LA and New York, because that's LA and New York is a big major cities, man. You have millions of people that live here in LA just alone. All right. You're going to have different major cities get hit with missiles, man. Okay. All of America is going to be hit with missiles. Different cities create one big wave of fire that's just going to sweep across like a fan. Like the scripture says, Jeremiah 51, it's going to be like a fan of fire, man. When you start a campfire and you want the fire to get hotter and bigger, you fan it. Okay? Because not only is the missiles going to bring fire to this place, let's not forget our Lord Yahweh Shai, when he returns in them chariots, they're going to
10 states that will be sacrificed to save the rest of the country.
They're going to overkill this place. Right? He says 10 states that will be sacrificed to save. Look, there's no saving this place. This place is through. That's why when the Lord destroys this place, America, he's going to do it within 1 hour, which is magnificent and great as itself. But the way that he's going to do it is going to have the whole world in awe. Not even just the world, but us. We're going to be in awe, in the fear. This is Revelation chapter 11, verse 13. It says, Salakia, Book of Revelation 11 to 13, which says, in the same hour there was a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. All right, what's the 10th part of the city? America. All right, I have this here. When you go, this is the FEMA regions, which they broke America. They broke it down in 10 parts, which is spiritual, man. Okay, 10 parts. They broke America down into 10 parts. So when it goes into, again, Revelation 11:13, in the same hour there was a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. That's America. So the 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, which 7 represents completion. Doesn't actually mean 7,000 people are just gonna die. A complete number of people won't be in that fire, man. Okay. And the remnant were frightened and gave glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, God of heaven. Why would a remnant are frightened? Because the destruction is going to be so great, man. We're going to see America burn, man. It's going to be an overkill. Wave of fire just going all across America, man, within that hour. You might have certain cities just get hit. Boom, boom. And then these different America's calling these different nations, and they just fuck these Americans. Shoot everything that they got. We'll shoot all our use up all our arsenal, man. Let's just wipe them out. This is our chance. They don't even have a chance to shoot their missiles. Cause like I said, like this video, it goes into the strategic of nuclear warfare. Because nuclear warfare is very strategic. If you don't want to have your enemies shoot off their missiles...
1. It is North Dakota. North Dakota is the only state that holds the nuclear trifecta. 1. Minot Air Force Base. This is the only base in the U.S. that houses both nuclear-capable B-52 bombers and Minuteman III missiles. 2. Radar systems. It sits on the northern edge, hosting the critical radars that track incoming fire. 3. Storage. Massive fuel and weapon depots. North Dakota is, quite literally, a powder keg. If you are a general in China or Russia, you look at North Dakota and you see the single biggest threat to your existence. If you destroy North Dakota, you destroy a huge chunk of America's ability to fight back by land and by air. It is a use-it-or-lose-it target. In a full-scale nuclear exchange, North Dakota would be hit with dozens, perhaps hundreds of warheads within the first 15 minutes of the war. The sheer amount of thermal energy released would turn the winter snow into steam instantly. The shock waves would flatten everything for hundreds of miles. The U.S. government chose North Dakota to be the ultimate shield. It is the state most likely to burn so that the rest of America might survive. At number...
That's where it goes off. The rest of America is not going to survive. Because not only these nations are going to hit these different states that they show, but they're going to hit Los Angeles, Texas, all right, Florida, different cities in Florida, different cities up in, the tri-state area, especially New York, D.C., Seattle, San Francisco, all right. Just off all these different cities alone is going to literally wipe out America, man. Like I said,
2. We have the state that acts as the front door. It is Montana. Look at the map. If a missile flies from Russia to the U.S., it comes over the Arctic Circle. The first U.S. state it crosses is Montana. Montana hosts the Malmstrom Air Force Base, which controls one of the largest missile fields in the world, 341st Missile Wing. Because Montana is geographically closer to Russia than the other missile states, the flight time for its missiles is shorter. This makes Montana the most aggressive threat. If the U.S. president orders a strike, the missiles from Montana will hit Moscow first. Therefore, Russia must hit Montana first. There is no waiting. There is no negotiation. If the radar shows a war is starting, the first wave of enemy warheads will impact the Montana wilderness. The goal is to bury the silos under mountains of fire before the U.S. can open the doors. The sacrifice risk here is catastrophic. And finally, the most dangerous place to be in the United States during World War III. At number 3, the sponge gets bigger. It is Wyoming. Wyoming is the least populated state in America, and that is exactly why the military loves it. It is the headquarters of F.E. Warren Air Force Base, which controls a massive web of missile silos spreading across 3 states. Wyoming is the heart of America's ICBM force. For an enemy planner, Wyoming is a math problem. There are 150 plus silos managed here. To disable them, you need to saturate the state with nuclear fire. If a war starts, Wyoming ceases to exist as a habitable landmass. The ground bursts used to crack the hardened concrete silos will kick up millions.
And then the wild part about it is America probably will get some missiles shot off. But remember, the Lord's in control. You can have the missiles hit America, hit Israel. It might hit different parts of these other countries. All right, but we'll just have to wait and see. The main focus is that we know that America is going to be totally destroyed, totally wiped out. Because even these other countries that may not get hit with missiles, they're obviously going to be affected. All right, you're going to have the whole earth is going to shake. We spoke of the great earthquake. What's going to cause that great earthquake? The nuclear missiles, man, the nuclear warfare. All right, it's going to cause the whole earth to shake. So even these different countries that are not affected by, not hit with missiles, they're going to get affected by it one way or another.
Tons of radioactive dirt. This dirt is what experts call black rain. It will fall for weeks, poisoning the water, the soil, and the air.
That's that
Wyoming is ranked higher
than, or what they call nuclear winter. Okay? Or man gonna, I think it says, they're not gonna be, they're gonna die because they can't.
In South Dakota, because the concentration of command bunkers here is denser. It's not just a sponge, it's a command node for the apocalypse. 10 U.S. states that will burn first.
Like I said, it's like 4 parts to this, but I ain't gonna play the whole thing. The main point was made, all right? But let's get the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 29, which this whole chapter, the Lord showed the prophet Jeremiah the future of Babylon, which he thought was referring to ancient Babylon in his time. But nah, this is referring to the modern day Babylon, Babylon the Great, the virgin daughter of Babylon, which is America. Let's get Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 29. It says, "Call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about, let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she hath done. Do unto her, for she hath been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel." Right? All the archers are ones that have the capability of shooting missiles. And they're going to shoot their missiles at Babylon, at America. They're going to aim and aim their missiles towards America, man. Okay? It says, "Therefore shall young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith the Lord. Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, God of hosts. For that day is come, the time that I will visit thee." Right? The Lord's going to visit this place. Okay? Visit this place with judgment, with wrath, with fire. Okay? "And the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all around about him." Right? The Lord's going to kindle a fire. I ain't talking about your average fire. All right? Like you small hatters like to do over there in Argentina. All right? Your forest fires. It's talking about your nuclear fire and the fire from the chariots. Okay? Let's skip down to verse 35. It says, "A sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith the Lord, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men. A sword is upon the layers, and they shall dote. A sword is upon their mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. A sword is upon their horses, and upon their chariots." Right? What is that? What are the sword? The nuclear missiles. All right. When this becomes a nuclear war, the enemies are gonna wipe out America's military might, man. These different military bases that are within America, man, that host different nuclear capabilities, that have these different missiles. All right. And another in the part 2, they showed you how in Seattle they have a port, which is the main port for I forgot the name, but one of America's submarines that's nuclear powered submarines. All right. Well, but let's believe that place is gonna get hit. Okay. The point is, all of America is gonna be wiped out. A sword is gonna be upon all throughout America. A sword is upon the horses, and upon the chariots, and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her. Right? Isn't America known as being a great melting pot? Right? So all you other nations that come here, live off, get rich, and live off the benefits of the sufferings of the Israelites, you're gonna die here, man. Okay? It says, "That are in the midst of her, and they shall become as women. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. A drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up. For it is land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. Therefore the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the island shall dwell there, and the owls shall dwell therein, and it shall be no more inhabited forever. Neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. As the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, and the neighboring cities thereof, saith Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein." Right, and this is the future of America. America's going to be so destroyed that no one's going to be able to live in America. It's going to be like Sodom and Gomorrah. All right? No one's going to pitch tent. No one's going to try to rebuild America back up. The only thing that's going to be living out here is wild animals, desert creatures that are able to live in desert conditions. Okay? And this is the future of America. This is what Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is getting ready to bring. All right? And this is a major prophecy. And of course, in the midst of this happening, in the midst of nuclear war, the Lord is going to deliver his elect. Let's not forget about that, man. So I hope that you brothers were edified with this lesson. I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rachak.